Constitutional Tribunal, famous economist for citizen, the pardon, and very well for the presidency. He is specified that the pardon does not make the convicted person innocent, nor does it erase his record, nor does it constitute a complete rehabilitation that will allow him to run for president. In his aspirations, Fujimori will have to deal not only with his legal problems, but also with his health, which has led him to be hospitalized several times. According to experts, it's a matter of diverting the possible votes of the former dictator to his daughter, Keiko, who would end up running again. Many hope that the announcement will not succeed, and that the next election will feature candidates who are not involved in human rights violations or corruption.
That's our editorial commentary viewpoint from the editorial desk. You tune to Radio Havana Cuba. Coming up next, it's our daily feature, heard exclusively on Radio Havana Cuba. Over now to the feature guest.
Hello to our listeners. My name is Alejandra Garcia, and today I am talking about the U.S. upcoming elections and how current President Joe Biden is under renewed pressure to step aside as top Democrats are making agonized appeals. Joe Biden came under renewed moral pressure on Wednesday to abandon his presidential candidacy amid agonized appeals by a succession of senior Democrats for him to consider the broader picture. Those calls came as the U.S. president dug in his heels to make it hard to supplant him as the nominee. With a backlash over his 2017 TV debate fiasco refusing to abate, Nancy Pelosi, the former Speaker of the House of Representatives, became the most senior party member yet to slow the possibility of Biden stepping down while stopping short of explicitly telling him to do so. Republicans in Congress, meanwhile, gleefully sought to further tighten the crown by summoning 3 White House aides to testify about Biden's mental fitness. The summons came in form of a subpoena from James Comer, the Republican chair of the House Oversight Committee, who demanded testimony from Anthony Bernard, the top aide to the First Lady Jill Biden, the Deputy White House Chief of Staff Anna Massini, and the President's Senior Advisor Ashley Williams. Pelosi, 84, who was Speaker until Republicans regained control of the House in 2022 midterm elections, told local news that is up to the President to decide if he is going to run, adding, "We're all encouraging him to make that decision because time is running short." That remark came as the President seemed intent on running down the clock until next month's Democratic National Convention in Chicago to make it practically impossible to replace him. Pelosi later qualified her comments, claiming that they had been subject to representations, while adding the President is great. But they prefaced the further critical interventions from Senate Democrats who followed the lead of Senator Michael Bennet of Colorado in voicing doubt over whether Biden could beat Donald Trump in November. Bennet told CNN's Caitlin Collins on Tuesday evening that Trump was likely to win November's poll in a landslide because of the widespread concerns over Biden's age and mental acuity. This race is on a trajectory that is very worrisome if you care about the future of this country, he said in an impassioned interview. Donald Trump is on track, I think, to win this election and maybe win it by a landslide and take with him the Senate and the House. It is not a question about politics, it's a moral question about the future of our country, he added. I have not seen anything remotely approaching the kind of thing we need to see out of the White House that can demonstrate that he can actually beat Donald Trump. This is not going to be about the accomplishments that we all had, 3 and 4 years ago. This is something for the president to consider. Bennett's comments stopped short of a full-blown appeal for Biden's withdrawal, in contrast to Democrats in the House, where 7 members have explicitly made such calls in the wake of the debate, where the president repeatedly appeared confused and mumbled his words and allowed Trump to guide the conflict of contradictions. Soon after, it was of moment between the person who had to President Biden to withdraw from the election.
It's dimensional.
Said he was worried about the race because the stakes could not be higher. I understand why President Biden.
Oh, that's the other thing. Biden's got COVID now. Feel sorry for me. Yeah, I've got COVID. Oh, bullshit.
He is the best candidate to do so. In my view, he is not. For the good of the country, I'm calling on President Biden to withdraw from the race.
I don't know where the hell he think he's gonna get in back in the presidency. I can't understand how this demented idiot would go back in office. I just can't see it. Either it's, whoever who is probably better than whoever who's going to get in. That guy can't speak for himself or fight himself out of a plastic bag. Come on. He might as well just put a plastic bag on his head and tie it into a knot and suffocate himself.
And we believe that the implementation of Title III of the Helms-Burton Law is a violation of international law and a further illustration of just how isolated the U.S. government is in its policies against Cuba. And that's why we continue to stand in solidarity with our friends and will until the end of the blockade. Viva Cuba.
Activists around the world speak out against Washington's hostile Cuba policy.